So after the high speed of the barrel racing, imagine being on a comfortable trail ride. And the first horse to go is Utter Drama, ridden by Casey Iser, a junior rider from Benson, North Carolina, aboard this horse who made 40 starts and won 7 of them, $77,000, a Maryland bred, competed in ranch and competitive trail. Long career from 2013 until last year. And so the tests that they've been asked to go through in competitive trail first involves entering at the gate and working the gate. Organizations that are involved in getting horses ready for their next careers. And one of them, and one of the awards that we recognize, is the Canter USA Award. There is a Canter booth here at the Thoroughbred Makeover. And from one of the Canter chapters in Colorado, joining me now in the announcer's booth is Ashley Gubich, who works with a lot of horses straight off the track. And give us a little insight. We see Utter Drama and Casey Iser, really no drama at all in going through this trail. But when you get a horse off the track, what is some of the drama that you have to help work through, and then what do you do to get them to be like this?
Well, again, their job on the track is to race and run and be fast. And the first thing you need to do is slow their brains down. Especially competitive trail is not a fast discipline. It's about precision and the details as you watch them reversing through that L shape. It's not about how quickly they get through it. She took the time and let him settle and went really well through there. It's not something that you can rush. So the number one first thing you have to do with an off the track to get them ready for any discipline is get them to slow down and take their brains away from the track and start thinking about how to work with their rider.
And now having to walk over the logs, and with Halloween coming up, having to go through the pumpkin field. This is a horse that finished racing in Ohio after being a Maryland bred. And now they'll have to dismount, ground tie, walk to the camera, take a photo, and then retrieve their horse and exit in hand.
What I like to see is this horse is getting better as he goes through this course. There's some horses, they're green, they haven't done this for years on end, so they're a little overwhelmed here and a little unsure on those first few obstacles, and the rider's taking a really good time of going slow and building confidence, and he's getting better throughout the course. So that's definitely a plus where they're working together and taking the time to really do it right rather than rush through.
And you can see the horse was locked in on the rider the entire time, and this horse has really been responsive. Whatever Casey wants, that's what Utter Drama will do, and they walk out in hand. So let's give them a round of applause for a horse named Utter Drama. This was a beautiful looking trail horse, a 7-year-old bay mare. Casey with experience training wild Mustangs as early as 8 years old. Says, my training is very versatile. I like to train horses to do reining, jumping, obstacles, liberty, and trail riding. And the partnership there between Utter Drama and Casey Heiser. Competitive Trails course was designed by Nicole Wood, and the judges for Competitive Trail are Ashley Gruber and Laura Wincheck from the International Mountain Trail Challenge Association. So we have our next rider underway, and this is a horse that is for sale as part of the ASPCA Makeover Marketplace, and it is Molly Duker, ridden by Jennifer Pajic, a high-level eventer who's now showing us the Western discipline with Competitive Trail. And you might be able to see by the maple leaf that is on the horse Molly Duker that Jennifer is one of the riders who comes from north of the border, is from Ingersoll, Ontario, Canada, riding Molly Duker, a Kentucky bred who raced in Canada and in Florida, never made the winner's circle in 6 lifetime starts, but did have a second and a third place finish. In fact, that second place finish came in the final race of this horse's career back in May of 2016. And we are going to move on to the next task.
With this trail class, what we're doing is simulating things that they will see out on the trail, and some things you can plan for and some things you can't. I'm sure this horse has been through water plenty of times, but they probably haven't happened to cross a box of water on their trail. So these are things that you can train for only so much, and what you want to see, again, it all builds from that individual connection you have with the horse, and then you can broaden it from there. But it's very hard to take each specific challenge that you might come and represent it perfectly in this discipline.
And we have to recognize the challenge of trying to bring a trail into an arena, and so what may seem natural on the trail, well, artificial surroundings here on the trail in the indoor trail.
It's very interesting also what horses will pick up as scary and not scary. I do a lot of trail work with my horses, and I event as well, and the thing I find most entertaining is horses will not look twice at a log that's fallen down, but if it's been cut and it's a clean cut and it is not a natural break, they always spook at that.
horse and rider doing a nice job going through the back through, and Ashley, we can tell Jennifer's a very good rider, but the horse in this environment, what is she doing well to keep this horse going?
Well, if you look, you can't really see her doing very much, and that's really what you want to see. Her horse is nervous and she's stressing out, and she is sitting there relaxed, and she is not tensing up. She's trying to build some confidence with her horse just by being the rock and being stable for her. All of these horses made the final by doing a trail class out around the horse park. Again, it's trail, that's outside, that's where almost all of their training has come. So this is an extra challenge, bringing the trail inside. So these horses thrived outside where they've trained, and she's doing a fantastic job of reassuring her horse that it's okay and being strong and stable and steady for her horse.
And now, after going through the pumpkins, having to go through the wagon, no issues there for horse and rider. Thoroughbred Makeover, very popular in Canada, and there are 14 trainers who come from Jennifer's home province of Ontario competing this year. Also have riders who've come from Saskatchewan. Jennifer trying to reassure Molly Duker and try and ground tie the young 5-year-old Bay Gelding. And they're going to exit the arena, and so let's recognize Jennifer Pajic and Molly Duker, a pair that did dressage and competitive trail. The next horse that we'll see in the arena is Regal Justice, a horse that has already had experience in the TCA covered arena, having competed on Thursday in ranch work, and is actually first heading into the ranch work finale, ridden by Tony Harmon, an amateur rider from Harvard, Illinois, who has been riding since getting a green 3-year-old at the age of 15. Regal Justice is an Indiana bred who made all 12 starts at Indiana Gland, earning just shy of $40,000, had 2 wins in a stalking style. And one of the unique things about the horse that we're seeing, well, this is one of only 2 stallions that are competing in the Thoroughbred Makeover. About 3/4 are geldings, close to 1/4 are mares, and just a tiny percentage are stallions, and this is one of them, Regal Justice, along with the entrant Gray Wizard. Ashley, what are your thoughts on what we're seeing so far?
Looks like this guy's been around the block a few times. He came in really cool and relaxed, and even when he was presented with a really challenging new obstacle that, again, most likely is not seen before, he had one startle, and then when asked to do it again, he stepped up, and even though he was scared, he's listening to his rider and just got a kind of cool air about him. This is what I like to see in a trail horse.
You're right, Ashley. Looks like an old hand at this, although less than 1 year ago was still on the track at Indiana Grand. So now they have to walk to and over the balance beam. Almost like an equine Olympics in gymnastics. And now to the box step up. You can see on the big screen an up close of the horse's feet going on to the box step up.
This horse has got a good brain, and when you can see if something new comes up and spooks him a little bit, he doesn't hold on to it. So when he moves to the next obstacle, you have the same horse that you saw right when you started. So no horses are robots, and all of them are going to react to things from time to time, and I really like that he is continuing on his way, and he hasn't built up or held on to any of the stimulation around him.
Through the pumpkins with no problem. And the challenge of not only having to ground tie, but ground tie while facing what looks like a scary bear with a camera on his arm.
And more so facing the out gate.
Oh, he smiled for the camera. A well-deserved pat on the back from Tony Harmon to the rider, Regal Justice. They're going to be back in the arena for the final discipline next, as they are in pole position, currently in first place in ranch work. One of only 2 stallions in the entire 478 horse field. And now we start the test for the next horse, who is in third place heading into the finals. The Marlboro, a 5-year-old bay gelding bred here in Kentucky. About 3/4 of the horses in this competition are Kentucky breds. A horse who was bought for just $1,000 as a weanling in 2014. Raced in 2016 and 17 and did have 3 top 3 finishes, including a win in 8 starts. Earned $13,000. The Marlboro is ridden by Houston Buffalo from Lebanon, Ohio. This is a 16-2 bay gelding. And we just saw a stallion, and now what are we seeing in here, Ashley, with this gelding, the Marlboro?
This is another well-schooled horse. Again, not totally polished, but we're not really expecting that. He's taken each thing in stride and took a big jump over the water, but he's an honest boy. He knew it was in there, and when he saw it, he kept going forward. He didn't go back.
So they have roped the dummy, and now they'll walk over the crossbucks. Houston giving the horse's head to get a good look at the crossbucks as the pair went over.
Yeah, he is taking the time to look at each obstacle, but he's not shying away from it. He looks down and sniffs it and makes sure he knows what it is, and fantastic job going over the bridge. No hesitation there, nice straight all the way through.
And now trying to negotiate the back through.
That was a good recovery there. He looked like he got a little angry when he was asked to turn around that stand, not really understanding why you would have to do that in the real world maybe, but it really came back to his rider there to take on the L reverse.
He took a long look at the crossbucks, but I don't think he glanced at those pumpkins. Lowers his head to go through the wagon. And now Houston will dismount. Gives the horse a pat on the nose. Great riding there by Houston Buffalo from Lebanon, Ohio to work the Marlboro through the competitive trail course. We have one more rider to go, and it was the horse and rider who were leaders in competitive trail coming into today, and that is Sarah Coltrane with Bees Honey. Sarah Coltrane is from Schaumburg, Illinois. Bees Honey is a 7-year-old mare. They competed in eventing and competitive trail, so quite different in terms of the requirements in the discipline, and this is unique, Ashley. We see a horse on the trail and a rider who are coming out in formal English tack.
Again, that was a great reaction there. Got a little nervous, and rather than jumping all the way over it, still put all of his feet down in the water. It's not every day that you see a horse dressed up looking like they're going into show hunter throwing a lasso.
Over the past decade, Sarah has started more than 10 horses in the sport of eventing. Currently has an upper level event horse and has competed and qualified in the American Eventing Championships.
Sarah has a canter saddle pad on Bees Honey, and I can't be certain, but I'd like to think that means she got this horse from Canter.
With this horse being an eventer and Sarah being an accomplished eventer, the judges are going to ask that the horse and rider move on to they're going through, and then they'll move on to the next of the challenges. He's a horse who wants to go forward, so when you ask him to back up, that's something much different than what you would ask out on the cross-country course.
So this pair also competed in eventing this weekend, and they're sitting in first place after the initial trail competition. Shows that this horse is really, really comfortable outside and seeing everything that an eventing cross-country course will throw at them, as well as a trails course. And as we've said a lot of times today, some horses need a little bit extra time dealing with different environments. And this is a really, really nice horse who's just getting used to working inside.
And that'll be it for Bees Honey and Sarah Coltrane. A lot of potential for this horse. Came in first place into the competitive trail. Here we go with the top 10 in competitive trail, sponsored by Godolphin. In 10th place, number 358, Jake's Mineshaft and Shannon Reed. 9th went to number 475, Samendra and Katie Sneeden. Finishing in 8th place, number 199, Wicked Laugh and Chris Helfrich. And a special note about Chris Helfrich: 2 days before Chris left for Kentucky, Chris's mom, Victoria Treese, found out that her ovarian cancer had come back, and so Chris wanted to make a special note that all of her rides this week at RRP were dedicated to her mom, Victoria Treese. And let's all wish Victoria and Chris and the family the best as they get 8th place in competitive trail. 7th place went to number 228, Sandra Fallon and Beetle Boots. In 6th place, number 463, Rightful Goddess and Deanne Sloan. And now to the top 5 from today. Finishing in 5th place, number 126, Molly Duker and Jennifer Pajek. 4th place, number 219, Bees Honey and Sarah Coltrane. In 3rd, as well as being the top junior rider, number 192, Utter Drama and Casey Heiser. In 2nd, and the top amateur rider, number 459, Tony Harmon and Regal Justice. And the 2018 competitive trail winner at the Thoroughbred Makeover, number 283, Marlboro and Houston Buffalo.